Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Ryan.
And today we are talking about 13 Monster Games. I want to thank them for sending me this game and the expansion to review for you guys. And I do want to say this is going to be a little bit of a different video. As you can probably already tell, Ryan is in this video, so it's not something we normally do. But we're just going to talk about, is this game right for you? So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so talking about 13 Monsters. So the main mechanic of 13 Monsters is really just like a memory mechanic where you set up a 9x9 grid that you have set out, and what you do is on a turn you flip over 2 tiles, and what your goal is you're trying to collect either one of 3 sets: the top set, the middle set, which are the eyes, and then the bottom set. So if you for somehow uncover for one monster a top and a bottom, you can't collect those 2 sets because it has to be a pair: the bottom, the middle, or the top. So it is very much a memory game where you're trying to build these monsters out. And it's also a battling game where as soon as you have monsters, you can start battling your opponents to get their monsters and to kind of win the game. And I feel like it was a pretty solid game, but I do feel like it was also very uneven. There was a lot of mechanics in this game that kind of seemed like were very uneven with the 13th monster, because the 13th monster has a mechanic of being able to, what is it?
You get to roll the dice one more time than the max number of times when you're attacking your opponent, basically. Now, the 13 Monsters expansion is kind of a balance to that. It adds a lot of extra abilities as well as armor, weapons that you can add to your monsters. Another mechanic to gain monsters that are called metal monsters. Instead of having to flip over tiles, you'd be able to forge the monster, which basically allows you to roll some dice and draw from a certain stack to pick up a top, middle, or bottom piece to that monster and add it to your current top, middle, and bottom pieces of the monsters. Yeah,
so really it's like a reinforcement type of thing. You're trying to reinforce your monster with this expansion, and it does help a lot with the unevenness of the first game, because there are some things, like I said, the 13th monster can make it a little bit uneven, especially because if the first monster you have is the 13th monster and your opponent maybe has a monster and a half, they can then battle you for your monster and take your monster, and then you only have a half, so you don't really have a full monster to continue battling with. Whereas the expansion does something different, where if somebody uses that skill, and granted you can only use the skill once in this version, and only once in this one as well, but you're able to then, as the opponent who was attacked, be able to attack the 13th monster to try to take it for yourself so you can do the same skill.
That's right. Yeah, the skill that's available to the 13th monster by itself allows you to take an entire monster from your opponent, leaving them with less points at the end of the game, as well as less abilities throughout the game. Yeah. Now, the one-time use will also take that monster out of the game entirely, but now with the expansion, it allows all players to basically get the 13th monster and use that ability once before it's entirely gone from the game.
Right. So I think that though the expansion is very good for leveling out the base game, it's more of, I feel like this is more of like a battle heavy. This is to level out the battling aspect of this game, because like I think we were saying earlier, if it was just a tile flipping game, there wouldn't be anything really like different about it.
There wouldn't be a want to play it, really. There are lots of memory things out there. Something like this in a board game could be found on a phone app or something like that that's easier to get out and to play. it's harder to set this up, and it takes the time and energy to do so. So the battle aspect of the game itself is really what brings you into it.
Yeah, and it really does a pretty good job at explaining the different kinds of battling aspects that you can do depending on the monster you have. But like I said, with the armor and the weapons and stuff that come with this expansion, it really does feel like it's a little bit more leveled out. And if you like games that are more like battling, you know, this is more for us PvP because it was just us two playing. But, you know, this does go to a higher player count. So in regards to how that would be in terms of equalness and how that would work, not really sure because we only played it with the minimum player count. If I were just to play this at the minimum player count, I'm not sure for me personally if I would enjoy it because, as I've said in previous videos, player versus player isn't really like my favorite mechanic in a game. And though this, like I said, does level it out, it really brings out more of that player versus player or the building or fighting mechanic that you have with this.
It definitely can help those players who have fallen behind in the battle aspect to, you know, get that step back in. But for a game of more people, more players, I don't know that it's absolutely necessary, just because more players means that you're going to be attacking different opponents, trying to get specific pieces that you're looking for, rather than having one opponent that you are constantly bombarding with attacks and taking their pieces. And if you're doing well to begin with, that's where the 13th Monsters base game can be skewed in one person's favor.
Yeah, and we definitely saw that when we played this a couple of times, especially with the base, and he was really good at memorizing certain locations. And if you're a visual person, that this game could be very fun for you, easy for you, because you have those visual cues. As for me, I was mainly trying to remember, you know, the different numbers and try to focusing on like one monster instead of multiple. Then I'd forget where one was and then try to go for the other one. And it was kind of just like a lot for me. And while I had like 2 monsters, he already had the makings of like 5. So it was really like helpful for him because he was also able to like see whatever I flipped over, he would be able to get it the next turn because I would get the wrong ones. And on this one, they do have some mechanics in there to help with that, with the oopsie poopsie,
the all-seeing eye, stuff like that,
yeah,
allows you to, if you chose the wrong tile, you can flip it back over and then check 2 other tiles. Mechanics that allow you to check more tiles than just the 2, to give you that kind of leg up.
Yeah. But do you have anything else to say?
I think that's it.
Yeah. But I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know in the comments if you kind of like this style a little bit better or if you prefer other ones. This was, like I said, just kind of to give you an idea if this game might be right for you, if you can see yourself playing this or if it sounds like a kind of mechanic that you would like to play. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Have a great day.
Yeah. All right, hang on. I'll be right back. I need to go get something.
Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Stephanie, and if you notice anything different, it's because I've just been kind of letting myself go lately during quarantine. But we have a great game for you here today to talk about, 13 Monsters. So if you're ready, let's jump in.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Stephanie, and this is Ryan. He's going to be helping me out today. She looks so offended. Oh, no, right here. And he's going to help me with this game. And what do you think about this game, Ari? She has spoken, so it's good words. Anything else for your fans? Thank you so much. Thank you. And that's all we have for you today.